Yeah, everything is... looks good on my... Yep, okay, I think we are ready to go. Just count me in and we can begin. Fast! Okay, got it. It's just game mode, yeah, there's no commentary.
Is that better? I don't know if that fixes the... You think so? Alright. I turned on the mic in OBS.
Yeah, you got it, you got it.
Alright. So this is Avenging Spirit for the Game Boy. What I'm doing is... Well, we started as a ghost. What happened is we got killed by some thugs, and our girlfriend got captured. So we're going to go save her, defeat the bad guy. The way that we do that is we progress through the game generally by possessing our enemies. We can travel as a ghost, which I tried to do here through some walls. But there's you lose energy while you're floating through the air, and you lose even faster while you're going through a wall. The way that the game takes damage for those walls is depending on some sort of timer, it'll check every so many frames rather than when you first go into the wall. So how much damage I'll lose through there kind of varies. Now the potion I just grabbed there, that fills the energy bar, which is how much health the ghost has, the protagonist, and the L bar is how much the enemy has that I possess. When the L bar depletes, the enemy goes. The enemy dies, and I'll be free floating as a ghost again until I pick somebody else. Generally, I'm picking a character that has a strong attack because the boss fights with a weak attack are quite slow, and in later cases become very difficult. Now this stage is kind of short because there's a hole in this wall that I somehow missed. I think I did something weird there. Completely the wrong strat. But right through there, there's a hole. So it kind of skips most of the level. A bit unfortunate, but it's a speed run. So we'll go through it. Now ideally I don't lose this character because all the backups are kind of difficult to deal with the next boss, which will be apparent in a moment. This game has kind of a thing with snake bosses. This one might be a worm, but I like to call it a snake. It's kind of close enough. The thing that's kind of important with this fight is that the snake stays low to the ground. This is important because I can attack faster when I'm on the ground than when I'm in the air. The reason that happens is there's a bit of a cooldown from when I throw one attack to the next one, along with a limit of 2 attacks on the screen at a time. But when I'm on the ground, I can duck, and ducking cancels that cooldown, so I can immediately fire another shot. So I make a lot of use of that with a lot of use of that ability in boss fights. This stage has water. The current's going backwards, so I want to maximize the amount of time I spend in the air. So if I'm in the water, I want to jump. Those are pentominoes. They're rejected from Tetris. Sometimes the game does that. So it might look like I'm just jumping for nothing in there, but the terrain in there is rather jagged. It kind of resembles a jigsaw puzzle. So I would have hit a lot of walls if I had just walked straight and fallen into some pits. This boss is a big ghost. It's a lot bigger than I am, which is why I show up with a guy with a laser. It is arguably the best character to have, but we don't find him until stage 4. Aside from one other character, but I'll get to that later. And this character is not naturally occurring in stage 5, so if I lose him, I'm stuck with finding someone else as a backup, which makes the next boss fight rather tricky. But hopefully we don't have to see that. Now, as I progress through this game, I have to collect 3 keys, and each of them are located in a different level, and some of the levels do not have a key, like this one here. Alright, so from this point, I'm better off killing myself than grabbing this other character that's available for me. I cannot traverse through a door as it goes, so I am stuck with having to pick somebody else. And I really don't want to lose this guy with the laser because it is quite useful. When I die, I keep the keys that I collect, so I do not have to go back and collect that one. So I just found out that this damage boost was possible just 2 days ago. Before that, that room was kind of a nuisance to deal with that enemy, and the timing for the platforms, it was kind of slow and stodgy. The character was in the way to make it onto the platform, and the cycle was pretty bad, so you'd have to wait for it. And then this room's pretty easy too. You just don't look down, because there's nothing to see there. The spikes are insta-kill, by the way. So they'll kill the character, and they'll leave me with the ghost, and I'll have to pick somebody else. And the characters in that room are very slow. Not ideal for anything. But they do have an unlimited number of jumps in the midair. It's pretty good, but not useful enough. This part is just hold right to win, but you have to not forget to jump. It's kind of holding right to win. And then there's this snake. Likes to float in the air, out of reach. Now, I guess I mentioned it while nobody heard me, but the first thing I did when I started the game was I tried to manipulate the RNG from the start screen by pushing on a particular frame. Well, there's a range of frames that will kind of work, but the position that the bosses will show up in, or the position that they'll move to, or the route they'll take, is dependent on that RNG. And it just carries on from one boss to the next. So if I had done it correctly, I would have known where all the spawn locations for the first boss fight would have been. And the third and fifth boss fights, I would have known exactly where the route would have been. And for that fifth one, it would have stayed low to the ground. But that was not the case there, and I had to improvise from that point. So this is the last stage of the game, and in this room, the key is hidden behind a door that is labeled as Ghost. So I have to step on these platforms that spell out Ghost, and it will unlock it, and then I just go through that door. So I did take an unintentional death there. The character I want to be stuck with is this girl here, because she has the fastest horizontal speed and a very good jump. The character I had resorted to grabbing is a little bit slower and has very slow falling speed. So going back to get that will save time overall. But now we have all 3 keys. So we just go to... Well, that was weird. I don't know why I walked right, but okay. But we're going to open up a door that has 3 locks apparently. That is where the girlfriend is. And then we'll make our way to the final boss, who is also a little bit affected by the RNG, but not so much, but it can make a difference. Yep. And all the keys look the same. I suppose they get stuck in the lock, so can't reuse them. So when we finally meet her, we're in a different form, but that's okay. She's tied up in some ropes, so we're gonna possess her, and somehow together we have the ability to break out of the ropes. Which I guess that works. And oh yeah, they left her with a gun. Probably not the best thing to do when you kidnap somebody, but maybe they're taunting us. I can't figure that one out. Going to the shoot, that's where the arrows say go, and then shoot the boss. After that, we do some victory squats because we took them out. And that's time. Oh yeah, the say again. All right.
I did do time when you said. I was just muted.
Oh, yeah, I heard you partially. I think I talked over you.
10:39.
All right, that sounds good. That's Avenging Spirit.
That's a good question, Will. When did I get 200 viewers? I beg your pardon? Oh, fuck. I see. I understand now. I looked at the chat. It's a John raid. The biggest of Johns. Thanks, dude. You're just in time for the finale. We are going to play Freedom Planet, and then we are going to play Freedom Planet, and then we're going to play more Freedom Planet.